Welcome back to The Narrative. I'm your storyteller, Calistra Farrier. In Dominica, a new political movement has launched in early September. The Team Unity Dominica was launched. At the head of this is Alex Bruno. He's a political analyst in Dominica, and he's also the general secretary of the new movement. He's here to talk to us about the Team Unity Dominica. Welcome to the program, Mr. Bruno.
Hi, Calistra. It's nice to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
All right. A new political party in Dominica. What's Team Unity Dominica about?
Well, we're about continuing the tradition which began in Dominica and I guess in the Caribbean, where political parties emerged at different times in the history of the politics of those countries. We have two major political parties in Dominica now: the United Workers' Party, which is the minority party in the government, and we have the Dominican Labour Party, which is sort of more like a quasi-coalition arrangement. That is the majority party. In the case of the Dominican Labour Party, that party was established in the 1950s, emerged and represented a liberal view. And then, fast forward to the 1960s, we had the Freedom Party, 1968, which now is part of this arrangement in government somehow. We can speak about that at some other time. And in 1988, the United Workers' Party evolved. And all parties which evolved in Dominica, well, not all, but those three major parties which evolved played a major role in the politics of our country. So Team Unity Dominica is just another party evolving at a time when we think there is great need for such an evolution. It took like 12 years between the Labour Party and Freedom Party. Freedom Party came in 68, Workers came 20 years after, almost 88. And the TUD is here almost 35 years after the United Workers' Party was formed. So you can say that we are even overdue for that which TUD brings to the political landscape of Dominica. And
what is it that you bring?
Okay. Because generally the parties have failed the masses. As I said before, the party that's ruling the government affairs of Dominica now is a mix between Freedom, some workers, UWP, and Labour. And essentially, we have not really moved progressively. So there's a constant clarion cry in Dominica for another idea, a new approach, a new way of doing things. Dominicans are pretty much fed up and tired of the same old, same old. And I dare to say that this is one of the reasons why the incumbent is so strong. Because Dominicans see, well, I see who I have already. Those who are trying to get there does not appear to be better than those we have. So we remain with who we have until somebody else come up to say, here we are. So we come in the middle. We represent 30% plus of the electorates who are fed up, who are tired, and who are pretty much disgruntled and are threatening not to even vote again. So hitting the ground running, we have a ready audience of at least 30% of the electors saying that this is what we want. So that's what we come to represent. And also the people who on both sides, left or right, who are just dissatisfied and tired of this stalemate, we think we are going to attract them, or we're going to be attractive to them. So TUD represents a breath of fresh air, a new entrance, a new idea, a new way of doing things in a united and progressive way. And that, I think, is very, very, very thriving ground in Dominican politics as we speak.
But then you also face the challenge where, in the absence of campaign financing laws in the Caribbean, yes. and issues with voter registration and who can vote, and the role that the overseas vote plays in general elections in the Caribbean, and Dominica is no different. Do you think that the Team Unity Dominica can get past this? The war chest of, for instance, the Dominican Labour Party. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt runs a very well-funded political party. How do you intend to get your foot in the door with him being able to outspend you and even the United Workers' Party?
Yeah, well, and that is a major, major question. It's a trick, actually, that has to be solved. And before the Labour Party and the Honourable Prime Minister had this war chest, he had nothing. And they won, they took out an incumbent party which had a war chest then. Now, you may say that things have changed, but certain things never change. Love, compassion, empathy. The fact that you reach out to people and sell them values which is beyond money. So yes, it's okay, he might be able to give everybody $30,000, $40,000 for their vote, quote unquote, but does that really purchase your vote? Yes, it gives you access to the voter, you give the voter stuff, but at the end of the day, what else do you give the voter? You only give that to the voter once every 5 years. So the idea is to curtail, to present a message to the people which resonate with the people. If the people are willing to listen, and we hope that they are, and we expect that they will, and we offer them a different way. We're not bringing them with money. We cannot fight money with money. We're fighting money with love and compassion and empathy and pragmatism and progress and thriving. Because when you build a house for me and give me a house, at the end of the day, I have a house. But what else do I have? How do I feed my children? How do I put a fridge in the house? How do I buy a stove? How do I put groceries? I have to keep on going back to you for that. That does not really jive well with the human dignity. So our message is one of empathy, of love, of reaching out to the people. Never saying anything bad about our honorable Prime Minister. That's not our politics. Our politics is identifying the loopholes and telling the citizens that is it. That is what we can do together as a team. And we can build from where you have left out. So yes, the Prime Minister might have given you a house, or the Labour Party might have given you a house, but we want to make that house a home with love. We want to present an opportunity for your husband or for wife, for your children.
You talk about love, Mr. Bruno, but a lot of what you're mentioning there has to do with economics, being able to put food on the table and accumulating wealth and multi-generational wealth and that kind of thing. What is your economic platform for Dominica? You talked about transformation when you launched your party. How do you transform things so that the people of Dominica can now buy that fridge to put in the house that they got from the Labour Party?
So people generally should be assisted with fending for themselves. To rely and depend on people for your basic amenities is one of the biggest miscalculations. So our modus operandi, our policy, our idea is to cause our people to think past the dependency syndrome, so to speak, and to think more of thriving. So one of the things we want to do is to say that the land of Dominica belongs to every Dominicans, and from an early age we're going to institute a program where our young people will be taught how to grow wealth, not through the means of getting hands out or hands down or hands up from a government, but to create for yourself what wealth is based on your understanding. So we give land. Every child, we're going to register the children who need land for housing, land for manufacturing, land for whatever purposes. Our team is designing an economic model that will transform Dominica's economy. Dominica is an agricultural country, and we depend on passport sales as our main economic earner. That's a mistake. We are going to invest some of the money that we will make from the economic citizenship into agriculture. The plan is to put at least $1.5 billion in the first term in office to really recreate Dominica's industry Dominica's economy from what it is now, the shambles that it is in now, to something that is more self-sustainable. We'll be able to trade with the Northern Caribbean islands. We'll be able to export our water to create the brewing industry, which we have lost, and I think St. Vincent or some other countries have been helping us with that. Why should Dominica be brewing its beer out of Dominica when we have water personified? So the idea is to totally revamp the approach to economic salvation by revamping our economy, continuing to depend on the other streams of revenue, but to emphasize what Dominica is very good at, which is our agriculture, and that is going to be the basis of our economic revamp program moving forward.
Now, you say that the Team Unity, the TUD, is ready to govern. Elections yes. are about just about 2 years away in Dominica. You've announced that you will have 11 ministries if you do manage to form the next government at the next general elections in Dominica. Who have you been able to attract to your movement?
Oh, many people, hundreds of individuals. Our candidates, as I said when we launched the party as an idea in my community in Calibishi, in the northeastern part of Dominica, will all be presented when the time is right. There are some who are saying, oh, why don't you come out if you're leader? Why don't you come out if you're candidates? No, why? You spoke about the war chest of the other side and the stranglehold that they have in terms of the intimidation that they can bring to bear on individuals. It would be foolhardy on our part to establish a list of 12 candidates because we at least have 12 people now who can contest election if the Prime Minister calls it today for, let's say, within a month from now. And that's enough areas, if we win those areas, to form a government on our own. But we're not coming to this thing believing that we are going to automatically emerge. We think things can happen in the system, and I believe that a coalition government or a mixed government is even more possible in Dominica moving forward than one party winning, including the party of the Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica right now. You spoke about the outside votes and the influence of the outside votes. The people who come in to vote for the party that's in power today would vote for a different idea if they had a different idea to vote for. But the opposition was not kind of a buying into what the people have been saying. When you curse the people who you want to vote for you, how you expect them to vote for you? So our idea is to reach out to individuals. And there are at least 3 or 4 people who live in the diaspora right now who would be willing to hit the ground running for us if elections are called today. We have a group of younger individuals. I just called one of them a while ago. They're working on looking at the electoral list in the areas that we're concentrating on and seeing where we are. We have done a survey on the island and we know what Dominicans are saying in February. We are actually conducting another poll right now. So we're applying science, we're employing the data, and we're looking at best principles and possibilities of how we can actually garner a win in the upcoming general election. It's all about the science, what the people say, and how we're going to kind of feed into what the people are saying. And we honestly believe that we have what it takes in terms of the human resource, the human support, and the pledges of economic support that has been made by people who have financed the government. I cannot tell you the source of our income or where people who we're going to get us to in terms of funding from, but there are friends of the party who are already speaking to us and saying, well, you guys are on the right track. If you let me see your message, let me see your human resource, the financial resource will follow. And as I said before, when the Labour Party won in 2000, they didn't have any money. In fact, the now Prime Minister is on record by saying that we should even the playing field. Now he has been in for 20 years, going on 25 years. He has done nothing to even the playing field. What we are saying is this: if you could have done it against an incumbent, we can do it against you. With our message, with our approach, and with what Dominica really wants now. And we think team unity is kind of the answer, the way to go, as far as we have seen it in Dominica.
Are you looking to be the leader, the political leader of, you're currently the General Secretary, you're also a political analyst in terms of profession, and are you looking to be the leader of the Team Unity Dominica? The
leader? Well, naturally, I'm the natural leader of the movement now, because I'm the first face that you see and the voice that you hear.
Political leader, when the time comes, when you move from the teasing phase and you move into convention and you're putting a full-fledged executive in place, do you have desire to be the one who leads Team Unity Dominica?
If the opportunity comes up, and for me to be the leader, and to take the party to an election as the political leader, I will. Wouldn't that be an honor for anybody to so do? But I think based on the candidates that we are seeing and the people that we are speaking to, there are many people who can lead as well. And our thing is not about the leader, it's about the leadership.
And, will you also look to contest in a constituency?
Yes, I'm going to be the leader of the movement. I will have to contest. Because
I'm saying you talk about there are other people who would emerge, and I suspect you're hedging your bets a little and being modest here. But also outside of leading the party, would you also do you also have aspirations to, if not the leader, but at least to contest?
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, right now as a professional, I am very happily pleased. I'm a professor. at a college is a secure job for life. So I can do like everybody else, well, not everybody else, but most people, and say, I'm okay, I don't have to worry too much about that. So I'm not really looking for a job right now. I'm okay. I'm trying to save a country. And if it means that I have to run, I will do that. I will make the sacrifices. So I want to answer your questions directly, but I want to be sure what I put out there so that nobody can come and say, oh, he said that yesterday. So I'm saying I'm fine. I'm very comfortable where I am in life right now. But if it means that I have to go away from my comfort, because I've never been a politician, you know. I'm a political scientist by profession.
But were you in a political party just about a year or so ago? Didn't you leave one political organization?
Let me explain that to you. I was a political strategist. I was appointed to work with the United Workers' Party as a political strategist. I worked with them and I tried to sort of change the culture of how they approach the politics. One of the first things I tell them is that barrage, that bashing of the prime minister should stop. No mention of the name Roosevelt's carried at all on any platform. You have to change the message, change the vexing tendency of the politics and do things that are more friendly. Smile a bit more. So I suggested the strategy and I tried as strategist. But to be quite honest and frank with you, to your public, I never operated as a strategist because the party never saw the value in taking the strategic advice. So like everything else, I kind of maintained it at my pride and tried. And when I saw how the party lost again and worse than the last time, I went berserk and I said, we can do better. That's why I dared to create a different movement and present it to the nation. Because that was the first time I got so close. I was never a member of the UWP. I supported them as anybody can. And when I was appointed as strategist and I realized how poorly they responded to the suggestions that were being made, I had no choice but to say, well, if that's what we have as the alternative, we have problems. That is why the Honorable Prime Minister looks so invincible. He is beatable. You just have to present the right strategies against him. First of all, stop paying attention to him. He's not important in Dominica's politics. The people are more important than him. You're calling his name 100 times and you're not telling me one thing you're going to do for the people. So that is why I came out of the position. I didn't resign, but I went through the process. And at the end of the election cycle, I said, nah, it's time for something new. The same way the UWP said it was time for something new in 1988, almost 30 plus years after, it is time. It is too much stalemate in Dominica's politics. And that's why TUD has been making such headway in Dominica. I mean, you do not live on the island, I can tell you that there is a common talk. I mean, people have taken me to the cleaners. They call me all sorts of names and crook and deceitful. You know, the normal thing in Caribbean politics. It doesn't really matter to me. Because the more they call my name, is the more you get popularity. That's how your popularity increases when people pay attention to you. So let them call my name. And yes, I was involved in the UWP as a strategist, but I swear to you today that I never was asked to function in my role. I was never taken on in the role. I never had one strategic meeting with the UWP at all. How can I be a strategist? How can I be blamed for you losing an election when you never listened to me? So that is the full story.
Well, you're saying two things here. You're saying two things here. You're saying they never listened to you, but you're saying you never did get to perform the role. So is it that you spoke and they didn't listen, or that you never got the chance to speak?
I spoke, but they didn't listen. All the strategic advice. I had a program live.
But let me ask you this though. Do you believe that what is happening now within United Workers' Party, the Linton has just, the political leader, just resigned. They now no longer have a political leader. I suppose the deputy leader is going to be there in the interim. He remains opposition leader. Is that going to help the team unity of Dominica?
Yes. Linton is a good guy. Very, very good person. Very good person. He's not the problem of UWP. He's part of the problem. He happened to have led the movement and was part of the milieu. So replacing him and not fixing the problem that the party has makes it even worse. Because I'm not too sure who's going to replace him. But I know that he has capacity to lead. probably some people question his political acumen. I'm not saying
But this
anything
is a
bad
man
about
who
him.
led the party to 2 stinging defeats. And as you said a while ago, one worse, the second one worse than the first. So he wasn't even doing
Yes.
better. It was getting worse. Twice he lost. Usually when a leader fails twice, they tend to hand in their resignation papers. I mean, even after the first defeat.
Yeah, but Mr. Linton is not a pushover. He understands what he's doing. And as I said, there are some who believe that his political acumen is not very well developed, etc., etc., etc. I'm not here to analyze him. I'm here to tell you that whatever they're dealing with right now will certainly benefit the new idea that we're coming with, because it's the same old, same old. And he, Mr. Linton, is not the only problem of the AWDP. They have systematic issues that needs to be ironed out, not in the public, in the private. And that's one of the other things that I told them as well. I told them, take a sabbatical, get off the stage, spend at least a month, retool, regroup, rebrand, come back up. You pa koute mwen. In Creole, that means they didn't listen. So I spoke, I tried, but you can't beat a dead horse. You can beat it, but the horse is not going to move. So it is sad what is happening to the incumbent opposition party. I think they are a very good party, a very strong party that I supported for quite some time. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And Mr. Linton resigning maybe even makes it worse. I think they should transition out of him in a different way, not the way it was done.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me on The Narrative, and I want to wish you all the best with the Team Unity Dominica. I look forward to seeing how you grow within the political space in Dominica, and whether or not you can actually take down Mr. Roosevelt Skerritt and the Dominica Labour Party. Thanks for being on.
Well, thank you so much.
This is The Narrative, and I'm your storyteller, Calistra Farrier, speaking there with Alex Bruno. He's the General Secretary of Team Unity Dominica, a new political movement that was launched just about a month ago in Dominica, and he is the General Secretary of that organization, and they're looking to contest the next general elections. They say they're actually ready to form the next government already if they are elected by the people of Dominica, and have 11 ministries planned and 12 candidates who they are ready to put on the ballot if early elections are called. The Narrative continues in a moment.